Oh, the stuff, Tim's got it for you. Where'd Boo go? Ciel, do you need timers or are you good?
I'm good, I have my own.
You've got your own. Let's give Ciel a round of applause.
I'm going to be starting off the intro and then I'm just going to go right. Hi everyone, my name is Ciel and the title of my TED Talk is How Not to Pick Up Girls. So a little bit about myself. I've been attending ISB since I've been in kindergarten, and I've also grew up in a conservative Thai household. So I've always been strung between these two worlds, one with my adventurous expat friends who love to explore Bangkok, and one with my conservative parents who taught me growing up that the world is a dangerous place, and anyone at any moment could hurt me. So my talk revolves around the idea of misogynistic onomatopoeias and catcalling, and how language is not only constituted of words, but also sounds and actions. And I would argue that it is more so taboo than using actual words recognized by the English dictionary. I'm going to support my claim by playing up my ethos and pathos with anecdotes and the typography within my presentation, and my logos with some ISB statistics and some information from the UN. And with this, I hope to make you feel shocked and more aware of this taboo issue of inequality.
Do you have the clicker, Ciel?
I don't.
We'll stop
I
you in
do,
the
I
time.
do.
Yes, use
Okay,
it.
do I just press this?
Yes, press this.
Okay. Today, I'm going to be teaching guys on how not to pick up girls. So 2 weekends ago, I was standing outside a Japanese bistro waiting for a taxi. So imagine it's 9 p.m. dark, I'm standing on the side of the road, and I'm next to my 5'2" friend. And suddenly, two guys on a motorcycle swerve by and stop right next to us and yell, "Woohoo!" And then they drive back home. Funny, right? But I felt as if I was being undressed at 9 p.m. on the street. And just last weekend, I was walking from Subway back into Nishna, and I hear next to me. And I turn around, assuming it's a cat, and I see a man leering in my direction. And then just yesterday, after touch practice, I was walking my dog outside the complex of the U.S. Embassy. And I hear on the road. And I turn to the side, wondering if the sound is addressing me or my dog. And I see a pair of 20 construction worker eyes smirking at me. The truth is, none of them called me sexy. None of them asked me to go home with them or asked me for my number. None of them called me any misogynistic terms or tried to touch me or tried to sexually assault me in any way. What they did was use animalistic noises to communicate dirty and sexual motives. These men call out to women just like me, as if we are an inferior group of humans pleading for male approval, as if we are toys exclusively for male eyes and male hands and male manipulation. But really, you're still communicating something. Even though you didn't use words recognized by the English dictionary, you're still making a sound, making a behavior. When researching my topic a couple days ago, I stumbled across a TED Talk by a man who goes by the name of Jason Kurtz, and he said something very profound. He said that when we think of gender issues, we think of women issues. When we think of racial issues in the United States of America, we think of Latino, Black, or Asian issues. When we think of issues regarding sexual orientation, we think of gay or bisexual issues. And this is the problem, where the dominant group is being disregarded. And this is the core of any social problem, but I'm going to be talking about gender problems. That people think that gender problems are only women problems. I'm going to be showing you some statistics I gathered from our high school. I gathered this a week ago. So you're looking at answers from both males and females, ages 14 to 18. So when I filtered out the survey, I asked if anyone had ever been catcalled. And 80% of these people were female. But let's not forget that also males have been catcalled too. When I filtered this survey by all the female answers, you can see 50% of females said that catcalling is not a compliment. The others said sometimes if they do it in the right manner. But also, let's not forget that some of these females had been catcalled and also had never been catcalled before. Keep this image in mind. This is the male response. The majority think that sometimes if they do it in the right manner, it's acceptable. This is more than 40%, 50%. But how can you qualify what is the right manner for an individual? How can you do it in the right manner that is acceptable by an individual? In 2000, the UN held their Millennium Summit Conference, and they had 8 development goals. The first, eradicate extreme hunger and poverty. The second, achieve universal primary education. The third, promote gender equality and empower women. This came above reducing child mortality rate, improving maternal health, and all these other very important development goals. And this is because when you empower women, there are better social circumstances. Children go to school. Family finances are better controlled. And the goal date is when we graduate. This is not the world that I want to grow up in. But this is. I'm 16, living in an affluent community, surrounded by intellectual and capable peers. But not even the wealthiest of places and powerful people can protect me from being exposed to some form of inequality. So then, let me ask you, what is it like for that Latina girl to walk home every evening through her slum community from school? What is it like for that petite Indian woman to board the bus at night to her night shift at work? And what is it like, even for my best friend, to commute to school from Bronx to Brooklyn? So this is my rationale. In Unit 1 of Language in a Cultural Context, I analyzed the power of language in our society, and specifically misogynistic onomatopoeias with inequality. I talked about this because I don't think it's addressed enough in our issues, because people assume that by just using words, you're promoting misogyny, but really it's also sounds and behaviors, and thus that is a reflection of our culture and beliefs and understandings in our society. My audience is anyone from ages 10 to maybe 50, anyone who's really been exposed to catcalling either in real life or even in media. My tone is sarcastic, kind of casual, and humorous in the beginning to capture the audience's attention, but then I switch it to more of a serious and pleading tone in order to show that people think that catcalling is a humorous topic, and yes, while it can be, there's a more serious aspect to it, and many women around the world are affected by it. I create my ethos as a victim through my anecdotes, and it shows that I have experienced some form of catcalling before, and I support my logos with my information from the UN and also some ISB statistics. And the reason I used 2 different information sources was because the UN is such a global database, and the ISB is such a small community, and it shows that global issues that hinder global society still happen within our community and is thus reflected in our community. Also, I support my logos with a testimonial by Jason Kurtz with the gender and women issues. My claim is repeated at the end, and with my 3 rhetorical questions, and that allows the audience to evaluate their role in this problem and imagine an ideal world where there is respect and there is equality. And also the visuals in my slide also support my talk, because on the slide where there's accumulation of words that allow the audience to be overwhelmed and to an extent feel violated, and maybe even allowed to put themselves in the shoes of those who had been catcalled before. And also my word switch with the gender issues and the women issues allowed to show that people thought that these words are interchangeable, but really they're not. They're two completely different things. And I would say that my TED Talk is a counterclaim to everything that was put in my PowerPoint with the catcalling. That's my rationale.
Do you have a conclusion?
Yeah, I have a conclusion.
All right.
So to conclude, I hope everyone has a better understanding of this issue, of this taboo part of inequality, and understand how language affects inequality. And also, I stand up here not only to spread awareness, but also to be a reminder that even within the closed gates of Nishida, there are global issues happening. Global issues are not things that third world countries deal with. They're things that people today in modern society deal with. Us, the people, your neighbor, people in New York, people in Dubai. And if I want you to take anything away from my TED Talk today, it would be not to ignore these issues, because they're not far off. So, guys, if you were still wondering on how not to pick up a female, this would be it.
Questions for Ciel?
You talked about empowering women and how UN like have financial situations become better to empower women. How that exactly related to your topic?
It shows that inequality is something that affects me, but also these women. And by showing that the UN wants to combat inequality, it doesn't only result in better results for me, but also for women around the world. And they're then able to be empowered and go on and be as equal as men.
How do you think you can get your message across to the passionate others?
Really, I'm just one person, and just me by getting my message across won't make a difference. But I think it's something that has to be worked on through maybe years, and it takes a lot of global and social awareness to change it.
So how do you influence that girls and women and teenagers? How are they going to decide themselves? Because there are some young tendencies, so how do we decide themselves?
I think, what I said in my slide, gender issues are not only women's issue. It's also an issue with males, and I think males and females have to, work together. And as I said with Hisham, it takes a while to get things moving, and for everyone to be aware on an equal basis. Because the people inside Nichida and the people outside Nichida don't have an equal comprehension of inequality.
I know your presentation was focused on women's experiences with catcalls, but do you think that women are ever guilty of using these words or catcalling men, and it's not brought to light?
I think because women have been catcalled like this, and they use words like this in more of a casual manner, they think that because they're a woman, they can use these words with one another, because men are kind of a higher standing. You understand what I'm saying? I don't mean to sound like hardcore feminist,